Hey there, so this is my final reflection video for Uni 220. It has been a fairly incredible semester for a lot of reasons. As you know, I decided to take 21 credit hours of courses, 8 classes in total, and work full time, which was madness and insanity on my part. I ended up working probably about 80 hours a week or so, and barely slept and really struggled through it. This achieved a few things, actually, that I'm tremendously proud of. First of all, it really hardened and sharpened my work ethic. It made me think consciously about deadlines and learn to prioritize conflicting assignments and priorities, which is not something I'd ever really had to do before to nearly this extent. It toughened me up a lot as well, and I was able to pass, it appears at least, every single class that I took, which was just absolutely phenomenal. So the reason I ended up taking this class was because of burnout, actually. I burned out and stopped attending class at Claremont McKenna College in California a couple of years ago, which really sort of blew a hole in my self-identity. I was just filled with shame and thought myself weak because I couldn't keep going and manage through it all. But what I realize now is I really had a very underdeveloped tools for coping with the kind of stress and pressure that exist in academia and professional life. The lesson on the hero's journey, actually, the final lesson, was a really good way to sort of picture all of this. And it made me realize also that I'm a lot stronger now for the adversity that I dealt with over the past few years than I otherwise would have been. Before I was always very caught up in thinking about why couldn't I have succeeded and why did I wash out, why did I fail? And now I realize it wasn't as much of a failure. It really highlighted the awareness for me that I needed to learn a lot of skills in my life. I needed to learn not only how to manage deadlines and manage stress, but also learn to read myself and learn to read my own body. Before, I really had this approach of just get up every day and gut it out the same way, and just hammer out as hard and as long as I possibly can without any regard to my sleep or energy or emotional state. And so one of the things I've noticed now is that I've become really, really aware of how I'm feeling, and I'm now able to sort of see when I'm planning out my week and thinking about all of the things I'll need to achieve in order to get through it and meet all of my obligations, that I'm going to need to have a break sometime in the middle or the end of the week because I just can't keep going on and on and on and on. And I've learned to leave myself enough slack in my schedule that I can push things around and reprioritize if something comes up or I'm feeling drained and exhausted. So learning that aspect of self-care has been a really valuable thing this semester for me, absolutely. And the other thing that I really learned was about leadership. And this came in the group project this semester where we didn't really have a group. It was tremendously dysfunctional. There was no communication. And so what my approach was going into it was, well, I've got all this other stuff going on and I don't really want to deal with people right now. So I'm going to try and back burner this and pick up slack that needs to get picked up and just hope that my team is able to get things together and get the ball rolling and I can just sort of fit in the cracks and polish things up and keep moving. And that didn't happen at all. I guess everyone sort of ran the same approach. And so nothing ever got done until the day it was due. And then I sort of was checking in and I was like, oh crap, we have nothing. So I hammered out, as best I could, whatever the assignment was that day, whether it was the group contract or it was the scenario that we wrote on, or even the entire presentation itself, which I actually ended up doing starting about 2 days before. And what this really taught me was that leadership actually isn't something that you just use when you're the head of a group, right? It's not something that you use or engage in, when you're just the one in charge. Leadership is something that I need to be aware of and take with me as a peer and as a subordinate and as an actual leader. And by that I mean communication is a big part of it. It's not just about the product and the final results, right? It's about the group cohesion, and it's about making sure everyone understands what's required of them, and communicating effectively so that the thing gets done. Had I been more proactive about doing this and thought more about getting everyone on the same page and scheduling out the deadlines and making sure responsibilities were clear, I wouldn't have ended up having to do all of that work by myself and aggravating myself in the way that I did. And so that's something that I really want to take with me, not only as I finish up college, but through my professional life as well. I want to really be aware of the way that I engage with others and the way that I make my needs clear and display a higher degree of interdependence, right? It's not enough for me to just be this lone wolf badass who can get anything done and work himself all hours, because it's just not healthy. It's not fun. It's miserable. I need to not only be technically competent, but I need to communicate my needs and communicate with my group and lift everyone else up as well. And I really regret not doing that in the past, but I'm tremendously grateful for the experience of this class that made that apparent to me, because I don't think it would have come up, at least until it was probably too late. But now, I got it while I'm still in college and wrapping up my degree, and it's something that I can take with me for a long, long time and really hone in and try and be mindful of. And so, despite the fact that I was an angry, petulant bastard at the beginning of class, I'm really grateful for the experience, and I'm glad I was forced to, and then had the privilege of sitting through this and learning that lesson, because that to me was just the best thing that could have come out of it. So whatever grade I get on this, whatever grade I get on the rest of it, I'm grateful for that. And so I want to thank you personally for teaching me that. And yeah, thank you again so much. It's been a great semester, and I hope you do well over the course of your teaching, and enjoy yourself and continue to do great work. Thank you again. Bye.